go into our next session, which is Beyond Connectivity Shaping a Human-Centered AI Digital Future for Island Nations. Um, for this session, I would like to invite um, first Dr. Kinanat, then Dr. Ahmad Naufal, and Abdullah Mustafa. As we have talked about, these sessions are very conversational, and it is in the context of open up certain key ideas, and we engage. The audience get the opportunity to ask questions and engage with the speakers. All right. Yes, Dr. Kinarat and Dr. Ahmad Naufal and Abdullah Mustafa. All right, I'll hand over to the speaker.
Yeah, so my name is Kinan. So I am actually handling the technology sector in the Maldives. I am the head of National Center for Information Technology, and also the head of overseeing the cybersecurity agency and also the CAM, Communication Authority of Maldives. So if you look at the technology landscape in the Maldives, I would say if you look at the infrastructure wise, we are quite good in this region, right? So for example, like internet penetration rate is very high, 85%. If you look at the mobile coverage, 4G 100%, 5G 70%, and also subsea cables, 6 cables, one of the highest in this region. And also, I mean, like online transactions, we cover about 85% of online transactions activities in the mode. So generally, it's good. But the problem is that what we don't have is the interoperability. Interoperability means, there are different systems, software systems made, but these systems are actually not talking to each other. That is a big problem. So that is what we are addressing right now. And one of the main tool or main idea is the use of AI. You already have heard about AI. And a lot of people think AI is just came about 2-3 years ago, which is not true. Okay, the idea of AI, the idea of machine learning, actually came in 1950 by a British mathematician called Alan Turing. Right, so he had the idea of this machine learning idea, but this didn't actually came so practical unless very recently. So now we talk about AI. Now AI actually has changed the landscape of everything, right? All the sectors. Now if you look at let's say 5 years down the line, AI would have changed everything, right? Say for example, how we live, how we interact with people. Say for example, like I can take examples like the health sector. Let's say health sector is also going to change very much with AI, right? Even now they use robots to do surgery as well, right? So no human intervention there. Okay. Now if you look at even the traffic, say traffic movement, AI is now used, right? Say for example, if there is a vehicle driving too fast, right? It will automatically capture the details, the number plate, and then receive a ticket or message to the owner of the vehicle saying that that person has drawn too fast, right? And then the fine also comes. This is all an automatic process, right? The AI is so much integrated. I've been recently to China, and then I was even very surprised to the level of the smart city concept. Say for example, like if there is a garbage dump in the middle of the road. Now in the case here, what we do is the city council will say, okay, there is a garbage, so maybe Wemco will come and take the garbage maybe after some time. But now that's not the case in an AI platform or smart city platform, whereby it will automatically capture, Okay, that there is an extra garbage dump, and then a ticket is released, and then Wemco should automatically know, right, that there is a certain garbage on a certain place, location, and they should be able to clear this up within minutes. And I'll give you another example. Like in China, now they have set up uh, systems even in restaurants. Say, for example, in a restaurant, if there's a rat, moving, it will automatically capture and then send an image to the authorities, proper authorities. I think in our case is the Food and Drug Authority, right? So they will receive a message saying that that specific restaurant has got a rat, and they will close down immediately. So this all activities are very automated now. So that automation should come in the models, right? So what we are trying to do is we are trying to get this kind of automation in the models in future. So we, as I told you, we have the good resources. ICT infrastructure is good. Most countries in the region are actually fighting for trying to get the basic infrastructure, but we have it, right? In the Maldives, we have it. So what we have to do is we have to work out and then see what we can do to get interoperable systems within our, our communities or our government organizations or private sector. So make sure that these things are actually happening. If you look at the education sector also, we have smart schools, right? So smart schools are there. At the time of COVID, we actually recovered, the mold is recovered very quickly. You would see even the schools were running after some time, because the reason why is that we actually had smartphones, right? And then we were able to run classes with phones because everyone had a smartphone, right? And I'll tell you, one of the highest in this region is the smartphone mobile coverage, right? We have 1 million mobile subscribers in this country, whereas our population is 500,000. Okay, so which is statistically one person having two phones, right? Statistically. So that's the scenario. So what we are trying to do in the government is that we are trying to get this, all this like education, health, transport, and all the sectors, and then make sure that we have an integrated, automated system. So the manual process goes, right? So, but a lot of people are very worried when AI comes, is there a job loss or not? Say, for example, have you heard about Microsoft Copilot? I'm sure you have heard about Copilot, right? So Copilot does work very quickly, like writing a document. Maybe a 100-page proposal is done within minutes, right? Or within seconds, which traditionally might have done 3 staff spending 1 week writing the whole proposal. But what I tell to my staff is that, okay, you won't lose your job, but you go into a different level, right? The humans now should move into a different level, whereby you should not be sitting down and typing the whole document, right, for 7 days. No, that part is gone, right? Let AI do it, you check it, right? But don't let AI do everything for you, because the human intervention is also there, right? Recently, I prepared an English speech. Then I asked my secretary to translate it to the way. And then, she translated and then gave it to me immediately without even checking. Okay. But I thought I need to check. Right? So everything got translated well, but except one, right? There is, in a speech we say ladies and gentlemen, right? But that got translated. So it had a word, emmeha firihem verina anghem verina. So that's what it says, the direct translation. But if I say this in a speech, that's very awkward, right? So there are, areas that you have to intervene and then, correct. Yeah. So
Before you. Okay, I miss a little bit of information to you, especially for our student. So what you see, the 3 people here is playing a very important role in digitizing Maldives. So Dr. Kinanath has been the Minister of State for Homeland Security and Technology. He is also head of National Center for Information Technology, also head of National cyber security agency, again, head of communication authority model. So he has got a lot of, he's overseeing a lot of this digital related area. And then we got Dr. Naufal, who is the CEO of National Cyber Security Agency, Ministry of Homeland and Security and Technology. So he is sort of in charge of all this tech related, crime type of, or making you safe, sorry. Better put it in a positive way. No. Keeping you safe online, right? And we got Chief Information Officer at NSPA, right? We hear a lot about NSPA. So a lot of digital, we have heard about Maldives 2.0. Hopefully, we're going to hear from them all about it, right? We have been wondering. Okay. Sorry. I missed it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. We always talk about AI, and you have heard a lot of things, but what have we done with it, right? So today I'm going to talk to you about is National Cybersecurity Agency. Actually, before I came to this position, Villa College provided me actually the means and opportunity to be in the AI long ago, ChatGPT, all right? So I was teaching an advanced AI module, University of West of England in 2018, long before ChatGPT. So today it gives me a great pleasure to say that we are one of those organizations where we have AI at the ground level, everything we do. So you can check out one of our platforms called learn.ncsa.gov.mv, where we are redefining cybersecurity awareness with the help of AI. So I'll mention two things that we are doing very specifically. One is create the platform as a gamified platform where students can play games, compete, get quizzes. So as learning management systems, we know that one of the biggest problem is how to manage this question, quiz bank. So what we did was automate that. So we don't want to manage the quiz bank. Every time you click the quiz, it's generated by AI the way we want it, right? So then we have the problem of few people teaching to a lot of people. How do you do that? We can use AI. So what we have done is customize for me feature. You click it, you can decide what style of learning you want that module to be. So now we have 6 modules in the platform where you can go earn a badge, share in social media saying that, okay, I got a badge for incident response. I got a badge for cyber hygiene. I got a badge for scam awareness. And we have been conducting scam awareness related data from our website. You can see that the national cyber security awareness, and we have two instruments that we are measuring. One instrument says that the general cyber hygiene is like 74%. This is based on small number of survey participants, but it's going there. Like it's going to be always, we will be increasing that participant responses. So, but at the same time, we also have scam vulnerability of 47%. That means our population, most of us, we are vulnerable to scam. So how can we make sure that we are not vulnerable to scam? So one of the ways we designed this platform is also to make diversification in terms of how you can use it. So last week we introduced an AI Viva. One of the first of these kinds you can see. So okay, you can do the quiz. Why not go and chat with the AI? Because when you do a quiz, it's a very specific question. Whether you answer it, how do you know? But when you talk to the AI, within 7 minutes, it will decide whether you have learned the content or not. And if you have learned it, it will give you the badge. And today we tested, it works great. So this is just one component. And what about cybersecurity itself? Cybersecurity itself requires a lot of artificial intelligence. So one of the ways now last year Microsoft released statistics that 78 trillion signals they process worldwide yearly. That's a lot, right? And we do get attacks every single day, but we don't see it. So the problem with cyberspace is you can't protect what you can't see. So that is one of the areas we focus on. So the one way we can only do this is with help of AI. So there are signal processing, a lot of things already uses AI. So then these are all kind of things we can do. So today it's my request that you check out the learning platform and then provide as many feedback, because we have been, we launched this in 29 of June, and we got a lot of good feedbacks. And since then we have released multiple iterations, and now it has gone to a level that we are now proud to say that this is one of its kind platform in the Maldives. So we are not only talking about AI, we are implementing it as well, right? So I'll switch to Musto, what kind of things he have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Naufal. Today, in fact, I had opportunity to check the NCS website, where they are teaching public about the awareness on cybersecurity. But my talk will be, since I am addressing student community, I will focus my talk on AI integration and what are the things that you can do with AI. Maybe now also, if we look at, if we look at AI, some people might be very much against AI. Some say you should not allow students to use AI. In other schools, they might say you should teach students the ethics of AI, how to use AI in their learning cycle, etc. Now, what is AI? If we look at AI, we should say that it is a tool that humans have come up with. They have trained a very smart, intelligent tool that you can use as any of the tools that humans have invented. For example, when we look at once the calculator was invented, there were universities, they were going against it. They don't want to allow calculators to be taken to the university classes. But later on, it was adopted by the learning system. Since, as Dr. Kinanath have mentioned, artificial intelligence is not something new. It was there, but since very huge, very powerful computers came up, and large language models being trained with billions of records of data, so that even we see in the news that even the U.S. The medical exams, even these models have passed those exams. So meaning that they have immense intelligence in them. So that maybe in a general IQ level of a person can be about 70 or 60. But with this tool, you can be super intelligent. As a student, maybe if you are dealing with AI tools, maybe very commonly we see that ChatGPT is one of them, Claude is another one. And there are many of these tools. But I would say that you should not be scared of this, because it will not, like in science fiction movies, it will not take over the world. It won't do that. But by using these AI tools, we need to understand that there should be, we should apply ethics on that. So there is an area that is being focused, and we have recently done the REM assessment for Maldives, and by the fact that we are the first country in the region to do this assessment. Once we do the assessment, we know where we are now. in terms of AI ethics. Why AI ethics can be important? Any suggestions from students? Why we are talking? Why, I mean, out of a sudden people started talking about AI ethics? Any ideas?
AI can often be used for harmful purposes such as defacing someone's identity or creating false images. It can also discourage people from using their skills to their full extent and becoming lazy.
Yes, exactly. That's yeah. That's a very good answer. But there will be, I mean, for example, in public service sector, for example, there will be a time that AI will be taking decisions. You know, once if we train the data, for example, there was a time because ethics in AI came up once. People were searching in Google because Google is being trained. Google search engines were trained, but when they were searching for gorilla or something, it came. I mean, racist content was being produced. Humans were being as a result. So this is this was a very bad. I mean, somehow the trainers, whoever trained those AI models, which was there, it's been somehow been labeled in that way. So this that's where the ethics, I mean, the topic came up, and people started. For example, let's say in Maldives, we are at a national. NSPA, we are trying to build a social registry for the nation. And perhaps if we train a model that based on that model, maybe scores will be given to maybe people in Malé will be given a higher score, maybe people in the other islands can be given lower score, for example. I mean, so that's unethical. I mean, equity should be maintained. In these kind of platforms where if any of these models will be trained. And yesterday I was in the hospital because my mom is admitted there, and I was talking to a doctor, and we were discussing that which medications were given, and he immediately started using AI. I don't mention the name of the AI, but he immediately searched AI, meaning that even the medical field, even the doctors, they are using AI because once you use the AI, you will become super intelligent, because maybe your IQ level can be 70, 80, but you will become 120 and so on. I mean, because you are having a very powerful, intelligent tool with you. I mean, you can interact. Maybe you might say, okay, ChatGPT is something you can chat with, because you are chatting with a supercomputer, because there are data centers, there are billions of records of data, inference within seconds, the results were given. And so on. Okay, that's my turn.
Thank you for the opportunity. All three of you talked about how AI can be used for educational purposes by training them in AI models. However, recently this year, researchers from company called Nature, they discovered that AI model collapse has been recently undergoing, which is when researchers who input a lot of data into AI models, and what happened because of this is that they started imputing unethical data, as you said, or false information, because not only were they fed false data from the researchers, but the AI models took research or data from other AI models, which could be easily disproven to be incorrect. So my question is that if in this situation we introduce AI models to our schools, and then these AI models are given false information and the AI models collapse, what could that happen for such a small country like ours? Thank you.
Yeah, one thing that we actually have done just now, Mustafa said that with the help of UNESCO, last year we started a AI readiness assessment, right? And then this year, July, we implemented the report. And that report actually says that we are actually very ready for AI because in terms of technology and etc. But they have given some recommendations as well. Then one of the thing is that just now you mentioned is the ethics, right? Now, in the case of our context of Maldives, one very important thing lacking in technology is the regulatory frameworks, right? We don't have any specific laws, say, but we now have drafted and is just in on the way to the parliament 5 very important technology regulatory frameworks. One is the data protection, right? The other one is the cyber security, and also we have the digital ID, and also establish a organization called Maldives Digital Service, and then we have another one called Maldives 2.0. So these are 5 different bills we are talking about, which will be in the parliament very soon. So so one very important area that we should be addressing is the ethics, right? Since if we have the proper ethics, right, then your concern is addressed. But we don't have the regulatory frameworks within the Maldives, so that has to be came into that has to come. So UNESCO, with the help of UNESCO, we have now released the report. Now, very important that we will be focusing on AI in the Maldives because we cannot just ignore AI because AI is already with us in the education sector. Students are using AI for their assignments, but we need to find a mechanism to check whether the assignments are done through AI, which is already some institutes are actually checking this out, but some aren't, right? With the help of, say, for example, like the health sector, very important AI is in the context of Maldives as well, because as you know, Maldives have got these small islands, and then most of the islands they don't even have an hospital, right? So people who are ill, they are actually taken to a health center, right? Health center do not have the proper infrastructure, and also the doctors are not there. So AI can help because they are in the medicine field, whereby you can even wear a wristwatch, and then an ill patient, let's say somebody with a high blood pressure, with all the different like cholesterol, this person and can wear this kind of health wristwatch, and then this can monitor the vitals and then alert the doctors and saying that this person has a potential to have a heart attack or a stroke. So this is very important, right? And also in the health sector, for example, like I know in IGMET they have a system whereby doctor prescribe medication, and then if the doctor prescribed, let's say, 2 medications, and then if you take these 2 medications together, there is a possibility of toxication because if you add these 2 medicine, but before doctor prescribe the medication, the system alerts cannot, right? Because if you add these 2, we don't know how many people have died in this country because of toxications. We don't know, but AI can do it, right? So we should have, so answer to your question is that yes, very important, but the ethics should come in. So that is one area that we are working on, the ethics part of it.
So also there are, I think now you can define who are the companies who work in an ethics-first approach. For example, when developing these AI, especially large language models. So Anthropic is one of those where you can actually, but there are still these. The problem is, I think, we are in a race to develop something super intelligent, and the race is more important than developing something safe. So we just talk about AI has not taken over the world. So how many of you have experienced that when you fill a form, you have to click something called that I am not a robot? Anyone? Everybody. So who have put that word there? Is it the AI or is it the human? We are at the point where we have to tell the computer that we are not a robot. We don't say we are a human, but we say we are not a robot, right? So the language, the first language of actually giving AI the precedence over human comes also from us, right? So that means we have so many things that, for example, before we used to Google things, and then the statistics shows that we don't actually Google beyond the second page even. So we have done, I mean, many of our colleagues here have done exercises. When we search something, we know it comes the second page or third page. We take that information, give it a tutorial, because we are 100% sure students will not go into the second page of Google search, right? So now that is gone. Now we are provided exact information. And like you said, what are the dangers of that exact information is manipulated? That creates a whole different arena, right? So one other aspect we are working is all called disinformation. And we have recently, one of our colleagues presented a framework called Disarm Framework, where we understand with a very early stage, just analyzing an article, how truthful, how biased this article is, and what are the drawbacks of this article in a global framework sense. And we have showcased a tool which a lot of people are interested in, which can be, we call it Article Insight. This is one of the ways we try to forecast things that happen in advance. And we have tested this tool with people from the US and as well as Attorney General Office, the President Office. They have some case studies. Some of them said that there was a very controversial newspaper article. They used 27 people to analyze this for 3 months, and they have data. And when they did this article with our tool, within seconds, it gave the exact right output. And they tested for 100 times over the days, and has been very accurate. But then, all of a sudden, one of these large language model creating companies, they might do something, and then all that accuracy is gone in just seconds, right? What we are going to do that? So one way we can be 100% sure what happens to our country is to be the forefront of that game. So our colleagues here will know that one day I came with an idea to create an AI center of excellence. I think still that is one of the things, because the reason why we have great AI tools, we can say for sure one of the best tools with Cybersecurity Agency of the Maldives is because of Villa College. Giving me, for example, Doom is giving me the opportunity to teach an AI module, transforming myself and having a huge impact. So this one chain of reaction that college create having huge impact on the society. So yeah. And what if we focus that one success story and then collaboratively work? Let's say the next year we will release our own foundational model. We can do it. Yesterday, Abu Dhabi created K2 model, which smaller models, so much faster. That is what we need to do now. We can't be a user, we need to be a creator and innovator. And we can do this now, and it is possible. And it is very much possible because I can see all those people who are interested here. That makes it possible, and this institute make it possible. So I'm very proud to say that now that is where we need to go. Because we can't depend on a foundational model being injected, say, to provide information that manipulates a country. All those countries, geopolitically, they can create a model, and behind our back, they can inject some information to control how we think. That is where we are at. So this is the time I call upon everybody to rethink that idea I proposed. Let's create this, and let's come forward together to create the next foundational model within the next year. I think that would be the best thing we can do.
Thank you, Dr. Naufal. I think what Dr. Naufal have mentioned is about creating our own models, localized models. When we talk about, for example, if we get a model which is being trained by different people with different data sets, and different data points which is given to the model, and it becomes a large language model, for example, which can be easily we can access to these models. Even for the integration purpose, we can access these models maybe from OpenAI or from Anthropic or any other, or Gemini or whatever the. Okay. Now, once it becomes more than 1 billion parameters, it becomes a large language model. And if we are trying to customize that model into our context, for example, then there is something called fine-tuning. So we are teaching the model with some of the data that we prepare, the prompts that we prepare to the model, and it can be more precise in terms of, for example, maybe Anthropic can understand Divahi, but the way that maybe whoever trains them after gets that Anthropic large language model, it can be better fine-tuned, and it can have, like Dr. Kinanath have mentioned, that there was, interpretation error. Which is very common. Because different languages, context-wise, will be different. Now, if we better train them, then we get better outcomes through these systems. Still, we are in very, narrow level of AI in terms of artificial intelligence we have. So there is general people, even Google, they are trying to get into general AI. Then there can be super AI also will be in the future. The idea is Doctor have requested that there are Divahi trained models available. Even there are OCR capabilities also given. Maybe you have a text. You just put that text into the AI, and it can even translate it back to whatever language that you are choosing. Usually, maybe it is Divahi to English. All these are generative AI we are talking about. But once we have a very intelligent device with us, we can integrate it into different areas. Maybe, for example, as mentioned earlier, that while giving services, we are going to train an AI model that maybe any of the records submitted by the public, it can easily detect maybe forgeries or whatever, maybe things that is inappropriate in the document. That's one area we can use the AI model by integrating it into a service sector or providing service. For example, that as I mentioned, we can use it in data validation, for example, in accuracy, since we are facing the public. Yes.
I just want to ask one question. The question is about the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. So when we search for, already Sir said, our systems are not talking with each other, and then our data framework is also having issues maybe. When I'm trying to get the national level data, for example, what's the percentage of first generation graduates? So we are finding difficult to get this national level data in order to map with our institutional data. So when we are trying to justify our data, we are having a lot of issues on that. So what is the solution for this? When I check with the SDG dashboard from the UN, it says one particular level. But when I say from the Maldives, when I check from the Maldives data bureau, and it is saying another one value. And some of the matrices, we don't have the data at all. So how we can resolve this?
Yeah, now one thing we are trying to establish is the data exchange layer, which we are working on. We actually have been looking other models in the world. Say for example, like in Estonia, we have what we call as X-Road, right? But we are not duplicating the X-Road system, but instead we bring a hybrid model for this one. So one area that we are actually focusing is the data exchange layer and also specifically data sharing, right? If you look at the agencies, we don't have the culture of exchanging data. We don't share data, right? Because we always say this is confidential data. We are not going to share this. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to bring an act into an existence so that, agencies have to share data because data is not their own property. It's everyone's property. So that act will come, number one. The other one is the data exchange layer. It will come, and then the data sharing platform, which we are going to establish, right? Yesterday, we have submitted a cabinet paper, and cabinet decisions are there on that one. So under the president's technology vision, yes, your concern is addressed, but it will take a little bit of while to come. Maybe about 6 months' time, they should be fine.
Yes. I would like to add to what Doctor have mentioned, because it's a very good question. Because it's one of the very crucial areas because information systems are collecting data. But once data is collected, it becomes in a silo if it can't integrate, interoperably can exchange data between other systems. That's the main reason when we were implementing a hospital management information system in IGMH. I was the CIO during that time. And I've been tasked by the ministry that we need to have a hospital management system. But because for me, electronic medical record was like Chinese for me. I was being sent from National Center for IT to IGMH to oversee that. Then we learned, and we brought a professor from MIT with the help of American Center, and we learned about what is electronic medical record and how it is being operated in US. And once we brought the new system through international bidding process, we ensured interoperability should be there. And that's the main reason we have said the software that we are bringing should be ONC certified, meaning that data which is in IGMH can be exchanged to elsewhere without any errors, any problems. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, thank you.
I have one question, just one question to ask. Since Education 5.0 is emphasizing very personalized and technology integrated and skill-based learning, which is designed to prepare future generations for rapid technological change. So for island nations like Maldives, where issues of connectivity access is still exist, I would like to ask that how can AI be harnessed ethically to support this transaction? In particular, to elaborate more, how do we ensure that AI-driven education respects privacy, fairness, and culture value? We are promoting equity and digital divide, avoiding wider digital divide between urban and remote communities?
Actually, because he's my boss, I have to answer. I think we need to build prototypes that can showcase the value and get a lot of feedback to see whether it is translated into the value we are. So I think that's one of the prototypes that we released. Learn platform is one of it. Maybe the data we collect, because we have created a digital KPI dashboard, so it will tell us year over year interaction, what's going on. So with enough feedback, I think that would give us a way to translate and understand. We need more data again. I think data-driven is the best part, and we need more data that is accessible. So that's why I think with the leadership of Dr. Kinarath, we in our agency, because we get to create it from the ground up. So it's our whatever the statistical data is available, it's also going to be there open. So that is one way. Another way is getting that feedback. So we have created a feedback loop in every document. So whatever document we have released so far, you go to the open comment link and then you can add that. That is very important. So to address this, we need to do more research, AI. I think that's a good research topic you said, to understand, because we still need to understand a lot of things. And the research is going slow, AI is going much faster. So next day we don't know what's going to happen. So I think, thank you.
Just wanted to add, I think when it comes to AI, since principal is here, I think it's a high time, very critical time that your school should now introduce an AI subject, right? Because if you don't do it now, you will feel, you will go very much behind, right? Because let's say in UAE right now, they have now introduced AI in all the schools, right? So if you don't do it now, and then as I told you, the RAM report, the UNESCO report specifically says that we need to create awareness among schools, and then we need to introduce this into the school level, right? If you don't do it now, it will be too late. And then ICT infrastructure-wise, we are quite ready, right? But we actually don't have the foundation still at the school level. So that has to come in very soon.
Yeah, I have a small proposal for them, okay? Because 3 of the people that I wanted together are here. Yeah, my proposal is, I think, based on the past experience that I have seen a system. So fortunately, I happened to go to UK for studies, and one of my colleagues together we visited one of the Cambridge University. And in the university, in one of the presentations that my colleague did, but he did a system. He did take in the national data, health data, and SPA data in our case, based on the health system data through AI, through your part, and they have built a system that they can predict the health issues that would happen to that person based on the previous prescriptions, based on the previous data, so that can predict. So that is, he created a small app. For us it's a small app. So it will show based on my data, I would likely to get diabetics if I continue on like this, because I have taken these medications previously, because I had these symptoms previously. So even they can predict cancers, and it was proven to be very, very accurate. So why don't we do it? So Kinarath is from the government side, you are in AA side, and you got the data. And I can also help you in funding as well, if you can.
Now, let me add, see, what we need to say, for example, like genetic, say blood. Say in Estonia, what happened is all the blood sample of each and every citizen is collected, right? And then they do a genetic, and that should be able to forecast whether possible, diseases in future. Say, for example, like somebody's, blood is collected, and then they analyze and they say, okay, this person is likely to get cancer because this gene has set. So that kind of lab is very important. And then I went with the president, and president is very interested in setting up a lab in the Maldives.
That's very good one.
Yeah, of course.
If he can even provide data, he is telling that he can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, that's very interesting. As I just said, in the context of Maldives, the health sector is very important to introduce AI. And then President has specifically said he wanted to introduce technology and AI in the health sector first.
So let's say after this impact, let's take this as one impact that we work on together.
All right, thank you very much. That's what we want Impact Room to happen in the church. So I would like now call head of school, computer science, engineering. Once again, thank you very much.